Congress just imploded on multiple fronts today, and it's coming from within the Republican Party. House Republicans abruptly canceled a planned vote to block a bipartisan effort to force President Trump to either end the war in Iran or finally get congressional approval to continue it after GOP leaders realized that they just likely did not have the votes to defeat the resolution. The move was a major embarrassment for House Speaker Mike Johnson and exposed growing fractures within Trump's own party over the Iran war, especially as midterm pressure builds and polling shows many Americans think that this conflict is certainly not worth the cost. The House floor had already descended into chaos earlier in the day during a completely unrelated vote on the Smithsonian American Women's History Museum, where Republicans started turning on one another mid-vote, while Democrats objected to a GOP amendment limiting exhibits to biological women. At one point, lawmakers were literally holding votes open while trying to negotiate on the floor in real time, which is a scene that's become increasingly common under Johnson's razor-thin majority. Republican Representative Virginia Foxx summed the day up by telling reporters outside, "All I want is just one normal day." Meanwhile, over in the Senate, Republicans suffered another major breakdown after abruptly abandoning plans to advance Trump's immigration enforcement bill before recess. The collapse centered around Trump's controversial new $1.8 billion Justice Department fund designed to compensate people who claim that they were politically persecuted by previous governments, specifically Joe Biden's.
We lived through 4 years of more than 4 years actually, but of unimaginable weaponization of the federal government against innocent people. This settlement is just a small measure of the justice that they are owed.
Critics, including Republicans, are worried that this money could end up benefiting some of the people prosecuted after the January 6th Capitol attack.
So isn't it just as easy to say that people that attacked police officers should not get taxpayer money from this fund?
Well, look, we do have John in this country innocent until proven guilty.
Even members of Trump's own party started revolting, with Senator Susan Collins saying that this fund was in real trouble and it should be.
So why not rule out giving them taxpayer-funded money?
Well, Caitlin, what I said is we're going to look at everything case by case.
Senator John Thune admitted Republicans had, quote, very legitimate questions, and, quote, about how the fund would work and whether there were any guardrails at all.
Mr. Attorney General, let me ask you this. Are there going to be rules that say that if you've assaulted a Capitol Hill police officer or committed a violent crime, you will not be eligible? Why not make that a rule?
I expect that because I'm not one of the commissioners setting up the rules, I expect that there will be
You're appointing 4 of
rules
the 5
set up.
members, aren't you?
And things got so tense that Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche personally went to the Capitol for a closed-door meeting with Senate Republicans that reportedly became highly contentious, with senators leaving frustrated and unconvinced. Republicans were already preparing to quietly kill another Trump demand inside of the bill too, a controversial $1 billion allocation for Trump's White House ballroom project. And Democrats immediately seized on the chaos. And perhaps the most politically revealing moment came from Thune himself, who openly acknowledged that Trump's growing campaign of retaliation against Republican incumbents may now be fueling resistance inside of the GOP. So after months of near total loyalty, congressional Republicans are suddenly starting to show signs of breaking with Trump on war powers, on spending, and on whether they want to publicly defend some of his most controversial priorities heading right into the midterms.
Are you losing control of the Senate Republicans?
I don't know. I really don't know. I can tell you I only do what's right.